What's up, guys? Welcome. Let's get set up here and look at some charts. Welcome. Sorry, a couple minutes late. My son wanted to hang out, and now he's mad that I had to leave. Anyway, he's no daycare today. Oh my god, Tesla is nuking. God dang, look at this wick. I got really lucky and bought and sold. So yeah, usually when we hop on, I do my quick trade update from the morning. This is my best trade this morning. Basically, we got this little breakout here. Okay, so this little downtrend, it's kind of curving. Little breakout here, nice volume. Retested it. We had a really nice volume retest, bullish candle. So I was like, all right, well, guess I'll hop in. And yeah, you can see, I mean, we got a great pump. I got the confluence here to keep holding from Top Goon X. And then my target was basically just the 30-minute EMA. It was the next resistance. And it front ran it just a little bit live. The EMA was a little bit higher, but I got out and made a good trade there. So that was my big trade for the day. Everything else was kind of just scraps. So nice setup though. If the 30-minute would have held this breakout, we would have had a really nice 30-minute trade here. Okay, so you've got this really high volume breakdown you guys can see here. So if we would have reclaimed that, would have had a nice little flip here and gone higher, but you can see that this is a very strong downtrend. And yeah, every bounce is getting sold right now. So any longs got to be quick on this kind of asset. Okay, what's this Christmas thing, you guys? Do you see this? Look at this. Christmas mood. What does it do? I'm in the Christmas mood. Nothing. It does nothing. It does nothing. All right. What's up, guys? Shout out to Puerto Rico. Hey, welcome. Welcome. Good to see you. We got people from all over the world join my streams. It's really cool. We'll look at some charts here. Make sure you guys use BingX to trade if you're trying to leverage trade. It's a pretty good exchange. Got a link below if you sign up. I appreciate it. Otherwise, in my pinned tweet thread, there's some education on the exchange and stuff like that. I got a tutorial. But they keep doing updates, and I've been working with them for over 2 years now, and we just keep making improvements. So definitely a good exchange, especially for newer traders that want to learn, because it's not very complicated. It's just very easy to get in and out of positions. The exchange is very easy user-face, very user-friendly, and the fees are really low. So if you guys are looking for a reliable exchange, make sure you check it out. They also have a mobile app. Also, for you guys that are using BingX, if you didn't know, they do have a mobile app for Apple, for iOS. You just have to download the Test Flight app. So if you go to Twitter and type in @Nebraskan Gooner in the search bar and then type in Test Flight, then you'll be able to see the steps to actually download that app onto Apple. So anyway, shout out to BingX for sponsoring these streams every week. And yeah, let's go. I'm in Nebraska, you guys. Santa Rally canceled. Yeah, we're not looking so hot, you guys. We're really not. I feel like Bitcoin just needs to go sideways all day, and then it could pump this weekend. But like, you just can't trade this shit. You really can't. How do you trade this? Like, I will be the first to admit that I cannot make any money on this. I don't even care if I admit that. Like, what is this garbage? You can't trade this. Like, even look at Tesla. Like, this is why I'm at stocks right now. Because, well, Tesla's not really a good example. I mean, this is only a 5-minute chart. So here's the 1H chart on Tesla compared to the 1H chart on Bitcoin. So for anybody trying to trade, you guys, and if you find yourself getting red, why is this red? Is this the Christmas mood? Is that what the Christmas mood does? That's got to be it. Okay. Jingle bells, jingle, Bitcoin smells, there's no volatility. I just want to slam my face into my keyboard. Hey! Okay, that's all you get from me today. But yeah, so here's the 1H chart on Bitcoin and the 1H chart on Tesla. So which one is better for trading? This one, obviously. Obviously this one, okay? I mean, straight sideways, you're not making any money here, and it's a grind. Here you have some trending, you have some volatility. Like this one's clearly in a downtrend. So just literally shorting bounces could make you money. Here, what do? You just short the top of the range and long the bottom of the range, which is really, really good for some people. For me, I just can't. I'm not good at like knife catching or, like you're knife catching down here. Unless you get this little tweezer bottom. That was a nice little play. See this little tweezer bottom here? So that was a nice little setup. But otherwise, you're just guessing that it's going to wick back up or bounce at the bottom. And you don't really know. So I don't like playing like that. 20 in Central MS. I think the red area is your buy zone that you marked a long time ago. This is not a normal red that I use on the chart, and I can't click in it. Like I can't click it, so I don't know why it's red. Oh, you are right. Actually, it did this last time. You actually are right. Every time that I do this, it does this. That's so weird, and it's so funny because it actually. This is the instant reversal zone that I mentioned, and it's actually reversed every single time we've gotten down there. So it'll be interesting to see if we like wick down or anything. Again, we'll see. I don't think we want to sit out in this level too long. If we sit out in that level too long, that kind of gets concerning. But I still think at some point next year, I think we can bounce back up into this green zone, even if we go back down. So anyway, that's what I think on Bitcoin. What do you guys want to look at today? I mean, BingX has an app in the App Store. Does it have an app in the App Store on Apple now? Because it used to only be on Android that you could find it in the App Store. Twin Peaks filmed here, North Bend. 40 minutes east of Seattle in the mountains. Nice. Love the mountains. Love the mountains. Another Nebraskan. Welcome. That's awesome. I'm like just realizing how many people actually in Nebraska follow me. That's crazy. So many people. Mask. All right, we'll take a look at Mask. Why not? Actually, I think that one had some decent volatility lately, maybe. Let's see here. Ooh, look at Mask, you guys. 1 hour is consolidating after a really nice breakout. So, I mean, this chart looks decent. And you have a pretty clear level to buy here. So, I wouldn't buy yet, but there's a lot of high volume right here. So, if it flips this breakout, then you'd get a decent setup here. Of course, it could be a fake out, right? It could go up and then just nuke. But you take your chances on these setups. All right, you draw your flagpole here. And this would be your target. So we'd be looking at about 260 as a target. We could set this trade up something like this. Okay, we look for entry somewhere around here. Stop loss below the low here. And we would target there. So we got about a 2% risk, 7% reward. Solid trade setup. And what you do here is to avoid FOMO and whatnot. You just set an alert, add alert, and if it goes off, you go to your computer. If it doesn't go off, you don't even look at it. That's the easiest way to do that. So that's a really nice look at the 1H. The pattern's pretty bullish too. I mean, this is a double bottom. So I've got videos on my YouTube of how to trade double bottoms if you guys are ever interested in watching that. But basically, I mean, here you go. So it hasn't technically retested the double bottom on this time frame yet, but I mean, this looks like a very bullish pattern. It really does. This is a nice look here. I could see it pushing higher. Again, I don't have confirmation really to buy here. I could. We've got nice volume coming in here. This is really nice volume. Nice breakout. So everything looks promising on this chart. And honestly, like, this could definitely break out and push to, mid 260s, yeah. So thanks for pointing this chart out. It looks great on the 1 hour. The 1 day as well has a little bit of resistance above at about that 260 area. Okay. We have a nice bullish engulfing candle from yesterday, and we have a retest there. So, I mean, this chart looks good. I would definitely be okay putting this on my watch list and seeing if it breaks out there for a quick 1H time frame trade. So, yeah, definitely good point out. That could be a good one. My bill is in the mail. I don't have to pay you for unless I make money on it, right? I give you 1% of whatever I make on that trade. Is that how it works? Bet you guys, I kind of just stay away from this one. After it rejected there, it had the AI hype. it's just kind of chopping around now. I don't know what I would do on this. Like, really nice weekly volume, and we have a deviation here, and it did retest well. So there's potential that it pumps a lot higher, but it's kind of risky because it just pumped on narrative. So there wasn't really any reason for it to pump other than it's an AI thing or whatever. So is it going to keep pumping, or do people just get rid of that narrative and start selling? So I really don't know. Ocean, yeah, we could. So Ocean is another AI one as well. It looks a little bit better. And, honestly, like if Ocean pumps, maybe I'd feel better about FET pumping. But these aren't, they kind of lost all their volatility and volume. Everyone kind of got bored of them here. So, I mean, I personally obviously don't like this high volume rejection long upper wick here. Ocean hasn't reclaimed this breakdown like FET has. So I would stay away from this. HNT. Let's see. Ooh, there you go. I mean, you definitely have nice volume coming in. Seems a little risky here. It almost looks just like a pump and dump to me. Yeah. I mean, could it keep pumping? Yeah, but I just don't see. There's nothing for me in this. I could have maybe caught like a 0.382 fib scalp, which I've actually posted these. I posted videos like this, I think, in my breakfast trade series. But basically what you do is you go from the bottom of the impulse to the top, and then you just try to catch a scalp at the 0.382 for a bounce. So, and if I zoom into lower time frames, there's probably that bounce somewhere. Yeah. Oh, it did bounce at the... So this is the 0.382. You can't see it, but you would wait for the hold of the 0.382. It broke down immediately. So you wouldn't actually trade that. But a lot of times on these strong altcoin pumps, if you draw a Fibonacci level for the whole impulse and you wait for the 0.382 fib level to hold, then you can usually catch a quick scalp to the 0.236. So that makes a pretty good trade. Let's see. Dash. We'll look at Dash. When are we shorting BNB? Yeah, my team was short BNB from 251 and we closed at 243, I think. So we had a pretty nice trade there. Dash is at resistance on daily. Weekly is just kind of sideways. I mean, this one just doesn't have much interest in it. You've got this little trend breakout, maybe. It's not very clean though. Maybe a trend breakout. It probably just depends on what the rest of the market does. This doesn't look like a chart that's going to do its own thing. But overall, again, you guys, I just don't like these charts that are super sideways. I like charts like Mask that are having a little bit more volatility and a little bit cleaner, and you can see where the invalidations are and things like that. Doge. Good old Doge coin. Let's see, you guys. Again, another one that's just straight sideways. Yeah, nobody's trading this. Nobody wants a piece of this right now. There's no volume. The volume's low as it's been in a while. For the last 3 weeks now, there's just been absolutely no volume. So this one doesn't interest me either. My goal here, you guys, isn't to guess what's going to happen. So I'm sorry if some of these charts I'm literally just I don't know. And I'm not going to lie to you guys. I can point out key levels. I could say, I mean, we're already below a key level here, which isn't good. But you can see here's another key support, obviously, because it's held 3 times. But if I see a clean setup, I want to give you guys high quality opportunities. I don't want to just be well, I could buy here. I just want to set up bullshit trades. I don't want to do that for you guys. I want to give you guys good quality, and I want to show you guys setups that I would take. And if they're not good quality, then I just wouldn't take them. So I'm not going to sit here and try to make some up. So I hope you guys are cool with that. Every once in a while, obviously, Mask is a good one that should be high on the watch list right now. That's probably the best one we've seen so far. XCAD, is that even a crypto? I've never heard of that. Oh yeah, it looks okay. The problem is it's below this breakdown, so that looks more like an exit pump to me. than anything, unfortunately. And we're just selling off this whole high volume candle. If we close below that, then it probably just goes back into nothing. So, I mean, you would have had a decent pump opportunity here, like to play the pump, but probably nothing more than that, especially in these conditions. We just looked at H&T, so you can rewind. We could do Mana. Let's see. Mana looks decent here, I would say. Let's go to the weekly. So Mana is at an interesting support here. Okay. This is one that we've got this low volume sell off right now too. Okay, so we've got really low volume selling here. So it'd be interesting to see if next week, if this forms a big green candle and turns into like a Morningstar pattern. Because if it was a Morningstar pattern, that'd be a really nice buy for me to get, you know, like a 10 to 20% move. So that's definitely worth monitoring. I'm actually going to move this one up on my watch list. Maybe. Okay, wait, why is it? Okay. Go to your home. Okay, we'll move that one up. And I'm going to put, what was the other one? Mask up there too. Apparently the M coins are the ones that are looking good right now. All right, let's see. Bam. All right, let's go. Okay, so that's a good start. We're holding this. We're at a key support, so that's obviously our first start. Like, you don't want a long at a key resistance, right? So 3 days looking okay. You'd obviously want to see a reclaim of this breakdown because that's actually a decent volume there. And then we go to the 1 day, and we're just sideways, which is a good sign to me, telling me that momentum has stalled a little bit. We have a very high volume sell-off here locally. Okay. Why is this arrow so big? Go lower. Okay. So we have very high volume sell-off locally. So if it flips this, that would be better confirmation. If it gets above 32.50, 32, what is that? We'll just look. Look in the top left here. 32.56. So if it gets above that, that's a decent confirmation because that tells me that this was all panic selling and the market was like, okay, buy panic sellers. So that's kind of how I see that. Mana is probably one of the better looking charts right now, for sure. You've got this nice downtrend break here. Okay, it's holding above the EMAs. I wouldn't, it could just kind of pump up from here. I wouldn't be surprised because these EMAs are just curling over. Even if it does pump a little bit, I wouldn't be surprised to kind of see it chop around here before it maybe takes off. Oops, wrong thing. So, yeah, I mean, I say Mana looks pretty good here. This is one of the ones that I would keep an eye on. I mean, Top Goon X had a nice 1H buy here. It's got another 4H buy signal here, which is good. 2H buy approaching, nice momentum coming up. OBV is kind of rounding out a little bit and breaking out. So, yeah, you guys, Mana is one that I would definitely keep an eye on. And these are, like, Mana and Mask are probably ones I'm going to send over to my team to look at for our portfolio tracker and see if they can find a decent setup for this weekend here. Which I'm going to tell them right now. Hold on one second. Sorry, guys. I text my wife something. And then I'm going to tell my team to check out those out. Okay. So, yeah, this one looks decent. I like how sideways it is because usually when sideways, that tells me that there could be a momentum change. And I do have some videos about like accumulation and distribution and stuff. So if you want to watch those as well, those will help you kind of figure out. But yeah, I mean, this much sideways, what usually happens? Well, sellers have run dry and we kind of have a double bottom here too. Sellers have run dry and now you see buyers start to come out. So, because, you know, even if it's a bearish pump and it still sells off, you still have to push price higher to get people to FOMO. And then when everyone sells, those people FOMO down here to loss, and that pushes price lower. Would I pay attention to bullish divergence on the weekly or not? I mean, yeah and no. On Twitter? Oh, wait. Why am I on? Hold on. I'm assuming you're talking. Are you talking about TWT? Honestly, on these, I assume you're talking about actually Twitter. Twitter. Oh, I'm on crypto anyway. Hold on. Oh, did I just go to? Here we go. Twitter. Wait, Twitter got delisted? What? It got delisted? That's hilarious. I can't even look at the chart anymore. What? Okay, you're probably talking about crypto then, huh? I thought you were talking about Twitter. What's TWT? This? Oh, you're talking about the bull div marker. I would ignore that marker because it literally just has enough chart history to have that. Like, I would ignore it for now. But I can see your point. I mean, it's a nice big breakout. If it loses this level, it's lights out. So if it loses that breakout, it's going to go off into nothing. And it might just go off into nothing anyway. This is Trust Wallet. I get it now. Okay. I mean, that's an ugly ass. That looks like a top, you guys. This is how tops are formed. Like, it's like basically an evening star, mega breakdown. Like, there's no reason for me personally to buy this at that point. That's a key breakdown. This looks like a failed rally. Like, that just looks like distributive to me. So I definitely don't think I would buy that. Yeah, I have no interest in buying this right now. It looks ugly. I'd almost rather just sit on a short and hope it nukes. But, I would have loved a better short entry closer to this breakdown if I was going to short. But the market's just not looking great right now, you guys. We're not getting any volatility. We need Bitcoin basically to go sideways all day and then try to pump into the weekend, I guess. Let's see. I mean, I was just seeing if stocks were moving up or down because a lot of times Bitcoin follows stocks lately too, but we're just not getting much volatility on anything right now. And that's kind of what I had mentioned on Twitter. I was like, I feel like we're going to not really do much today. So I don't want to get caught up in the chop. Yeah, I went private when Musk bought them. I didn't realize that. That's hilarious. Dang. Did not realize that. So what happens to your shares? You just so if something delists, they just give you your money at the actual price that it is, or what? I've never had that happen before. I assume you just get whatever value it is at the exact time of listing, huh? So if you have like 500 shares or 1,000 shares and it's $50 and you have $50,000, right? That sucks for anybody like trading or holding at a loss or something. So crazy. Yeah, what else do you guys want to look at? I mean, are you guys having a good time today? Because it's cold here. It is so cold. My heater can't even keep. One of my heaters can't even keep up. So, but one of my doors, we got new doors and windows ordered like 6 months ago, and we're still waiting on them. And we just have some really old doors at our house. And man, they're like just not like air's just coming through. Like negative 10-degree weather, air's just blowing straight through. And one of my furnaces is like, yeah, I'm just old and not gonna do this. So it's just been chilly in our house. But I've got my handyman guy. I've got a really cool guy that I know that does like a bunch of fixes stuff for me. So he's gonna come over and like weather seal them until we get new ones. So that should help. Because my son's room was kind of chilly last night. I had to like put blankets everywhere to insulate and stuff. It was crazy. So I've never had it be this cold, you guys. It's so crazy. So usually we don't have any issues. But anyway, that's my story. That's what I'm up to. Hope you guys are having a good Christmas week. Hope you guys have, anybody that celebrates it. Hope you guys have some fun stuff planned for this weekend. I think I'm going to do a treasure giveaway soon. Maybe like tomorrow. So stay tuned for that on Twitter. Let's see what else you guys got. Vet. Oh, I feel like I'm boring today, you guys. I'm like so monotone. Here's a chart. Look at this. It's just going sideways. I mean, what do you do with this? Like, you can't trade this. So vet is a hard pass here. I mean, it's gone sideways for now 4 days. Let's see the weekly. I mean, it doesn't look good. It looks like it's in a downtrend, you guys. Like, this is a definitely a downtrend. Obvious. This is definitely a downtrend. Look at me. Like, I'm so smart, you guys. I can tell you right now. No, but really, this is just a strong downtrend right now. And you can see it's making lower lows, lower highs, lower low, lower high, and it just keeps going. And these are the ones that you kind of like, it goes sideways, and you're like, well, I wanted to buy here, and I didn't. And now it's lower, and I didn't buy. And now it's lower. I think I'm finally going to buy. And then it just goes, bloop, and you're like, shit. Like, that's what happens a lot of times on these. You're like, you're being really good, and you're like, yeah, I'm glad I didn't buy. I'm glad I didn't buy. Okay, well, it's just going sideways now. It's going to pump. It's going to pump soon. It's going to pump soon. And then it just nukes on you, and you're like, oh, whoops. EGLD. A lot of people have been talking about EGLD lately. I mean, it looks like death. Look at this continuation pattern here. This would have been a great short setup, by the way. I mean, this thing is at absolute key support right now. I doubt it holds. It definitely could. I mean, there's not much sell volume coming in now, but I mean, look at this. This continuation pattern, like the triangle itself has a target, a technical target of 28. So I don't see any reason. I mean, this is a clear top here. It's as clear of a top as you can get. And after a major top, it's not going to just recover. I mean, it could, like they could invent a cure for cancer or something, and then it would just go like that, right? But that's about what it would take to go back to all-time high. So, and then you have a breakdown, continuation pattern breakdown. Hi, buddy. Oh, my son's over there in the window. Yeah, so it doesn't look good, you guys. I mean, that's a big, like, what? Jesus, like 5 month long, 4 month long, something like that, continuation pattern that just broke down. Very unlikely that it just reverses in like a month. And if it does, well, then, okay, you just go, oh, that was a deviation. All right, well, I'd rather buy here at 55 than knife catch down here. So you get in a little bit later, but it's a little bit safer too. So, Matic. All right, let's see Matic. Sometimes I say Matic because of that Chelsea soccer player or football player, whatever you want to call him. I mean, I don't like this breakdown. I have a hard time longing here. It looks okay. I mean, it's holding support kind of, but it's just kind of sideways. Probably depends on Bitcoin. If Bitcoin goes above 17K, this thing probably pumps to, 85 or something, but hard to say. I'd fade it for now. I think it's probably better. Like, at this point, if you're looking to trade, Mask and Mana are going to be your two highest on your list, unless there's something better that we haven't looked at yet. Like Algo just keeps downtrending. Yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed the EGLD. TA, thank you. Thanks. That was a good suggestion. That was a nice clean chart. AVAX. The problem is now a lot of charts look like this. Like they're just really tight here, doing nothing. And that's when I just don't trade. I wait for some volatility. Let's see. RLC looks interesting here. This is probably one of the more bullish charts, but it's not really, like you would expect better follow through, and it's not really following through. So, like I just have no interest in trading this, but if I was, I would probably set it up something like this. And I mean, it's got a really good potential target, obviously. Like at least a retest here at like 50%, but maybe even like close to 100%. So it has a nice target, but I just don't see much interest in it from people. Like it should have come out of that zone by stronger, and it hasn't. So it's like, is it just going to be a fake out? So I'm not sure. Somebody asked, I watched your new video, your new altcoin video, but do you see any reason to get to DCA into any of the current altcoins, or do you wait for new ones? I mean, I haven't seen a long period of sideways on high time frames or a high time frame breakout. So why, like, even, what is this? RLC? Okay, let's do a different chart. Like here is a really nice high time frame reclaim on comp. So if I'm looking for a high time frame setup, okay, I can get in here now at 250 and ride this all the way, for 3x. But or I need to be getting in on some sideways, and there's not really any sideways here. We do have a nice trend breakout here, so I can maybe get in at like 150. Okay. For a weekly time frame trade, I could get in here, and then the monthly would give me confirmation to hold. All right. But I generally need like some sort of sideways. Okay. Like look at all this sideways on Litecoin before buying, right? Look at all this sideways before dying. We got a little bit of sideways here. Litecoin looked decent, but the overall market still is concerning. But you want to buy, like generally speaking, you're going to want to buy sideways and sell sideways, right? Like that's accumulation and distribution. Accumulation usually happens over a long period of time and it goes up, right? Like that's when you want to buy. Rarely. Obviously, we had the crazy COVID dip. That is like a one-of-a-kind thing where you just get a massive V recovery. Like that is absolutely incredible, okay? But generally speaking, you're going to get, like, it's never just going to do that. Like, if it does that, then it's usually going to come right back down. Like, if you come from really high and don't accumulate, then any pump is probably going to be a sharp sell-off. And that's actually what happens usually with the automatic response on the initial bounce is something drops really hard, you get your capitulation over here, you get an automatic response or I can't remember automatic I can't remember what I just said. But anyway, so you get that automatic rebound. And then everyone's like, "Oh shit, I shouldn't have panic sold down here. Now it's higher," and it happens quickly. And then that's when it goes into the slow accumulation pattern. And then it finally comes out with a spring. So, again, I like to buy sideways if I'm going to buy, or I just wait for a breakout. Like Bitcoin. Now, Bitcoin I did start accumulating at like 4K-ish, but I didn't really go heavy. I didn't really start buying more, and I didn't have confidence in it until it broke above here, okay? So once the monthly, and this is why I am not buying altcoins right now, because altcoins are literally the inverse of this, right? Like everything is like we have this big breakdown now, and that's when you sell. Everything is just dying, like it's just dropping. Okay, I don't like to knife catch on the way down. But what you do see here is you get a really nice confirmation here on this breakout. So basically your risk rewarded. I actually did have a target, which I posted. I think it was 56K was my final target for this bull run. So we could just give an R to R here. And I probably would put my stop loss here. So I've got a 15% risk for a 500% reward on a high time frame because I have a high time frame breakout. And everyone was calling for new bull run here and here. Let me see. What is this at 10K? Yeah. So everyone was calling for new bull run, but we never had this breakout. Okay. And I think I went to lower time frames for this breakout originally, but everyone was calling for new bull run to start. And I was like, well, we don't have a breakout. Okay. And then they were definitely calling for it here. And then we nuked. Okay. And we had a trend breakdown that told us we would go back to 5K. Now, obviously COVID just messed obviously COVID accelerated everything and did some crazy shit. But key point being that we had this high time frame breakout here, and this is what gives me confidence as an investor to hold and to add size. And then here, of course, it's just literally the opposite. You've got this sideways distribution pattern, and we break down. So that's when, if you're still holding through this and you're still maintaining that bullish bias, that's where you would sell everything basically. So if you're just waiting for confirmations on everything all the time, you would buy here and you would sell here and you would get your 300% profit. So it doesn't seem like a lot. A lot of people like to buy altcoins and stuff, but some altcoins didn't even hardly pump this bull market. Yeah, I mean, like we post high time frame setups in our portfolio tracker, but we just haven't had any. Like we've been trying to do we've been doing basically like 4H trades right now in my portfolio tracker. BNB looks like it has a lot of room to fall. Very likely, in my opinion, that BNB tanks at some point. Like look, this is already this breakdown, kind of like Bitcoin. And we're just waiting on that follow through. Like it's just going sideways. It's already retested this breakdown. Okay. And we're starting to see the initial signs. And we even have this nice little trend here. Okay. So this is, look at all this open air below. Like that's scary. Like it could technically retest down here at 45. Like it technically could. But I'm sure if we go to weekly, there's some supports in here somewhere. But I think like 175 was an important one. Well, that's the bottom of this wick maybe. So, I mean, look at all this open air BNB has to go. So that's not a good sign. Somebody said, I see the words thesis, plan, and setup being thrown around. Yeah, I mean, basically you set a trading plan and then you have a thesis of, okay, if like I did with Tesla today. So as a good trader, you guys, and this is probably some really fun advice for those of you that care about trading and not just wanting to see charts. Like I love when people give me it's so funny when people give me a hard time on Twitter for like, well, you posted every scenario today, so of course you're going to be right. And it's like, well, yeah, I posted multiple scenarios throughout the day as price action changed, but I also was taking trades based on these scenarios and making money. And that's the whole point of it, right? Like you want to plan. So if Tesla, okay, so this is a very high volume breakdown, which we discussed earlier, but we'll talk about it here on this example. This is a very high volume breakdown with no follow through yet. There's no follow through. It just stopped here. Okay. Now, I'm probably disinterested a little bit now, but if this would have been immediately bought back up, that would have been a sign to me that says that was panic selling. Sellers are weakened now, and buyers have taken back control. And if we flip this, that's going to send us into momentum here. Okay, that's going to give us, I don't know what's happening. Okay, that's going to give us some momentum here to go to the upside. I don't know how high we would go, but we would get some momentum in the other direction, and that's what I would trade. Now, obviously, I didn't get my 30-minute confirmation, so I didn't take the trade on a 30-minute time frame. Okay, that's what you do is you make these plans, and if they come to fruition, you take the trade, right? So like we could even look at DXY. Like I'm not technically trading this, but DXY, if it hasn't broken out yet, it continues to reject. But if it broke out and it was a different, a tradable asset, I would look at something like this. Okay, let's just say this candle breaks out. I would look to get in. This would be my setup. So that's what I would look for, and I would say, okay, if this happens, then this happens, I'm going to take an entry because now I have a clear invalidation. Because otherwise, I'm just knife catching like Tesla right now on a 30-minute time frame. I'm just guessing if I think it's going to bounce because realistically, I have high volume sell-off. Let me get rid of this stuff. Realistically, I have high volume sell-off here in a strong downtrend. So most likely, it's going to continue downward. That is the most likely scenario right now because it's in a downtrend. And what happens in downtrends? Price goes down. It's as simple as that, right? I wonder if we have a little parabola break here, though. That's kind of cool. So this thing will bounce hard when it bounces. Oh, probably because look. Wow. And maybe we actually have a parabola break already. We could consider, it's close. That's either the parabola in here or, it does look like we're still within this parabola, honestly. But if this parabola breaks, it's going to bounce up to 155 pretty quick. But I don't know if it's going to break yet. Like it could go down pretty hard here. But this is something to keep an eye on. Inverse parabola. So anyway, but the key being here that it's in a downtrend. So what's more likely to happen is down. So if I buy here, where is my invalidation? Well, I have no idea. Look at all this air. So if I buy here, is my invalidation just right here? That makes sense, right? But how many times do we see these stop hunts? And this is why people get stop hunted, because they don't wait for confirmation. And they just knife catch, and they're like, well, I'll just put my stop loss here, okay? Well, what happens if they just did that over here, right? They bought here, and they go, well, I'll just put my stop loss below here. Well, they just got wicked out, And what if it bounces here, right? So that's why I wait for my confirmations and say, if this is reclaimed, I will buy, because I will have a clear invalidation below here, okay? And I like to use manual stop losses. So if it wicked below, I wouldn't get wicked out. But I've started using those the more I trade. Before I was using manual stop losses, I was just using hard stop losses because that was the best way for me to do it. Because when you're new to trading, it's easy to go, oh, I think I'll hold, right? Like, so you have to have that hard stop there. For me now that I've been trading so long, I'm like, nope, I don't like this. I got to get out. So, but anyway, so that's why you would want to wait, because again, if you just buy here without really any confirmation, it could go, whoop, okay, now I'm going, and you just don't know. So that was a great question. Chainlink. I doubt Chainlink is an example of accumulation, but we can look. Potentially, but we don't know. And what if it's more like this? Oh, wrong thing. What if this is what Chainlink is doing right now, rather than accumulation, right? Now, that's a great thought. Let me look at Chainlink again. Oh, hold on. So I would, like, everything is in a downtrend right now on Chainlink. So what I would need is I would need these EMAs to start perking up and get above this SMA here, and that would tell me that it's possibly shifting trend and potentially worth accumulating. For now, my EMAs are pointing down. All my EMAs are down. Let's look at the monthly time frame. Monthly time frame doesn't necessarily look like accumulation to me. We have heavy sell volume here. We have maybe a continuation breakdown. Okay. Let's go to the weekly and look at weekly as well. Possibly have this breakdown here and more of just a bearish channel. Okay. So I would say could be accumulation, but look at like how close we are to this major distribution breakdown. We're right next to it. So the likelihood of it being right at the base of this is pretty unlikely. Like, it's probably more likely that's going to happen down here lower. I don't know where, but I mean, you can look at accumulation models and distribution models, and you're going to see that they kind of go like this. Okay, like something like that, and they almost go back to like origin. So I would say no, very unlikely that this is accumulation, but if it was, then, you know, I'd at least want to see some sort of breakout here. Is sushi an accumulation? Again, I highly doubt anything is an accumulation right now, because Bitcoin's probably not an accumulation. And no, look, I mean, look, sushi's just a fresh breakdown. That's a fresh breakdown. So not an accumulation at all, and honestly, this just looks like it could go back to nothing. So, yeah, you guys, that's what I got for you today. It looks like today's, if you're trying to leverage trade on low time frames, it looks like you're going to have a hard time. So I'd be careful. I mean, Bitcoin's still just going sideways as hell. And then we're getting into the weekend. I mean, look, yeah, this is just a choppy mess. Good grief. So I'd play it safe today, you guys. Yeah, I'm going to be done trading after this because I don't want to get chopped up and get back my profit from this morning. But I went with stocks today because they were volatile. Like, you just can't trade this. Just cannot. It's not worth it, you guys. You'll get chopped up way too much trying to mess with this price action. So wait till there's more volume and take it over. But, oh, hold on. Somebody said, sorry, I had some of my... Somebody said, I just got TGX alert indicator. Can you go through analysis of the last alert on 1 minute time frame? What chart? Like Bitcoin or Tesla is the one that I traded, but you could see the Bitcoin one. I mean, there's a buy approaching alert, and it actually worked out, but did it retrace? Probably not. So here's the impulse. Oh, yeah, it did. Look, here's the impulse. So this, you get a buy approaching here. Okay. So you go on this little impulse here, and you're just going to look to buy the 0.786 fib. Okay, so anytime you get a top BinX buy approaching signal, you go from where the impulse that started it. So this is the impulse that started, in my opinion. You could do the whole thing, but honestly, like, this looks like where it broke out at. Okay, this is where it broke out at, and this is the little impulse that gave me the alert. So that's how I would draw it. And then what you do is you set your Fibonacci level at 0.786 fib. That's where you want to buy. If it holds, it did hold. And then you're almost, if the 0.786 fib level holds, then you're almost guaranteed to get to the 0.236. It's almost a guarantee. It happens like so often that it's like probably 80 to 90% efficiency, if not more. I don't know. But if the 0.786 fib holds, almost always goes to the 0.236 fib. Now, this is a small impulse, so you're not going to get as much movement. If it was a larger impulse, you would get a larger percentage, like guaranteed move there, right? And on leverage, you know, a 0.2% move on 10x leverage can be like a 2% trade. If you do 20x leverage, a 4% trade, right? So that's great on a 1 minute time frame. But anyway, so if the 0.236 fib holds above and it breaks above, then you have strong trend continuation. And basically what you see here is we have momentum carrying up, and we got this nice little push. And then we have some bear div here, so you could sell here, or you could sell. I mean, I honestly just sell when the momentum stalls on the chart. So sometimes you get a sell alert approaching, not always. So anyway, you guys, what percentage research do you do compared to active trading? I mean, it's not necessarily research. I just browse the charts. I scan for charts. I set alerts if there's key areas that I want to mark out for potential trades. But I don't really do much research, especially right now. Like, there's not really anything to research. And honestly, usually if I need to research something, I just have my team. Have my team do it, and then have them report back to me, and I kind of look through their little breakdown and their outline of it. So, but yeah, there's not really anything to research right now. It's not really worth holding much, so because everything's just bleeding. So I'm being cautious. I'm, retreating into stables when I'm not holding anything for a short trade. But yeah, anyway, you guys, thank you so much for being a part of my live stream today. Appreciate y'all. Make sure you give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. We'll do more live streams next week, of course. I want to do like a leverage trading live stream too, just to talk about leverage trading. So I'll probably do that next week. I'll probably do a Trezor giveaway tomorrow. And yeah, that's all I got for you guys. So Merry Christmas to everyone that celebrates it. Happy holidays. And yeah, stay warm out there, you guys, in the U.S. because it's a freaking mess. And trade safe. It's a holiday weekend. The books are going to be thin. It's just going to be nasty. So play safe out there. It's going to be very unpredictable price action. The stock markets are closed on Monday. So note that as well. And yeah, have a great weekend, guys. Thanks so much for joining me. I really, really appreciate it. Have a great